A high school teacher turned 200 students into fascists in 5 days. April 1967, Cubberley High School, Palo Alto, California. Ron Jones taught a world history class full of ordinary American teenagers. By day 3, they were saluting. By day 5, they were ready to obey any order he gave. This is the story of the third wave, an experiment that proved how easily democracy dies. Jones started with a simple question about Nazi Germany. One student asked how ordinary Germans let the Holocaust happen. Jones had no good answer, so he decided to show them instead. Monday morning, he walked into class and announced new rules. Students would sit at attention. They would stand beside their desks to answer questions. They would begin every answer with Mr. Jones. Within one class period, every student was obeying. Tuesday, Jones gave the movement a name, the third wave. He drew the symbol on the board, a wave inside a circle. He taught them the salute, a cupped hand curved like a wave. He told them strength comes through discipline. Students practiced the salute in the hallways between classes. By lunch, 43 students had joined voluntarily. They weren't being forced. They were competing to be the best members. Wednesday brought a new slogan, strength through community. Jones created membership cards. He designated 3 students as investigators to report members who broke the rules. Students began reporting their friends. One girl reported her own boyfriend for not taking the movement seriously enough. The investigators kept lists. Jones didn't ask them to. They did it because they wanted to belong. By Thursday, membership hit 200. Students from other classes were joining. Jones added new slogans, strength through action, strength through pride. He told them they were part of a national movement. He said there were thousands of chapters across America preparing for an announcement from the national leader. None of this was true, but every student believed him. They stopped questioning. They stopped thinking. Students were enforcing the rules on their own. They confronted classmates who didn't salute. They excluded non-members from lunch tables. One athletic student pushed a non-member against a locker. Teachers from other classes complained that third-wave members were disrupting their lessons, insisting everyone should join. The movement was spreading beyond Jones's control. He realized he had to end it. Friday morning, Jones announced a rally. He told students the national leader would appear on television at noon to reveal the movement to the country. He said only members could attend. He said this was the moment they'd been preparing for. 200 students filed into the auditorium. They sat in perfect silence. They waited for the leader who would never come. Noon arrived. Jones turned on the television. Static filled the screen. Students waited. The static continued. After 5 minutes of silence, Jones turned off the television. He told them there was no leader. There was no national movement. The third wave existed only in that school. For 5 days, they had been part of an experiment. He was showing them how the Nazis rose to power. Jones turned on the projector. He showed them footage of Nazi rallies, the Nuremberg rallies, the salutes, the chanting crowds, the absolute obedience. He told them to look at the screen, then look at themselves. They were wearing the same expressions. They had followed the same path. In 5 days, they had become what they thought they could never be. The auditorium erupted. Students were crying. Some were angry. Others sat in shock, unable to process what they'd done. One girl screamed that she'd reported her best friend. A boy who'd been an investigator ran out of the auditorium. They had turned on each other. They had excluded classmates. They had embraced authoritarianism, and they'd done it willingly. Jones made them watch more footage. Concentration camps, mass graves, the final solution. He told them this is where their path led. This is what happens when people stop thinking and start obeying. This is what happens when belonging matters more than truth. The students couldn't look away. They were watching what they'd almost become. The school administration wanted to bury the experiment. They told Jones to never speak about it publicly. They feared lawsuits. They feared the story would make national news. But the students couldn't forget. For years afterward, third wave members would recognize each other. They would see someone from that week, and both would look away. The shame never left. Years later, researchers studied the third wave. They found the speed was what mattered most. Jones created a fascist movement faster than any historical example. The Nazis took years to consolidate power. Jones did it in 5 days. The researchers concluded that under the right conditions, with the right authority figure, any group could be turned. No one is immune, not even people who know the history. Of the 200 students who joined the third wave, only 18 never participated fully. 18 out of 200 resisted, 9%. Subscribe for more. 91% of students who knew about the Holocaust, who studied World War II, who understood what fascism was, still joined a fascist movement the moment someone told them to. The question isn't how did the Germans let it happen? The question is why do we think we're any different?